All right, guys. So as some of you may know, I'm not really a big TV guy, right? I'm not a big entertainment guy. I don't subscribe to any of the subscription services like Netflix, Hulu. I don't watch a lot of movies. Sometimes I do, but I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm not a big Hollywood person, okay? I don't know much about Hollywood. I don't know who's the cool new trendy actress or actor or whatever, right? I really don't know all that much about it, to be quite honest with you. It's just not something I'm all that interested in, okay? I like to deal with real life stuff, okay? Now, this situation right here involving a Hollywood Asian actress by the name of Awkwafina, it has some real life consequences, so it seems, as she is being canceled. In fact, she basically quit Twitter after the mob, specifically Black Twitter, came after her for her use of what they call Blaccent, right? Or African American Vernacular English, right? That's what they call it, AAVE, okay? Which basically just means talking black, okay? That's what it means. Now, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of the term Blaccent. I've never heard of the term African American Vernacular English. I never heard any of that, right? I've heard of Ebonics, okay? But I haven't heard of those terms. But apparently, this Asian actress here is under fire and has been under fire for this for years for using what they deem to be a black accent, right? In her movies and profiting off of what some people are arguing is cultural appropriation, okay? So that's the controversy here. Again, and the controversy has gotten so bad for her that she has quit Twitter, right? Quit Twitter. So I want to get more into this, and then we're gonna also watch some videos of her, using the accent or whatever in movies. And I want to get my opinion on this because I think this is an interesting subject. But before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, the links are in the description below. You can support the Patreon, you can support the PayPal, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways you can support if you would like to support, and I appreciate each and every last one of you that have supported so far and that continue to support. It really means the world to me. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this, as I'm gonna read this article from The Root, so you guys know you're getting a woke perspective here on why Black Twitter is pissed off at this Asian actress for using what they define as a black accent. So before I actually read this article here, let's actually play a video of Miss Awkwafina using what, again, people define it as a black accent here, and her attempting to explain her use of the accent in the past during a Reuters interview when this controversy came up a couple years ago. Take a look.
You gonna roll up to that wedding, you gonna be like, bak, 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 bak. She likes you. All right, let's hit it. And we're following the queen. And we're following the queen. Where that at? Where's she at?
I'm open to the conversation. I think it, it really is something that, I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so that is her attempting to explain why she uses that accent in movies. But apparently the woke mob was not satisfied with that. Now, that interview was like a few years ago, and the woke mob never gives up, right? They will continue to come after you and after you and after you until it gets to this point right here, okay, in which we're at now, in which she's basically been forced off of Twitter, or she feels like she's been forced off of Twitter because of the backlash. And we're going to talk more about that, and I'm going to show you guys video of some of the backlash and the criticisms. But I want to read about some of the criticisms from the woke left perspective. This article is from The Root, so you guys know what perspective you're getting here, right? So you guys understand what Black Twitter's problem is with this Asian actress in her accent that she uses during the movies. So let's read here. Crazy Rich Asians actress Awkwafina released a statement in response to the backlash on social media after being nominated for NAACP Image Award, reported Insider. Over the past year, she has faced criticisms about her consistent use of Blaccent. Now, that Blaccent won her both a nomination, but also harsh criticisms from the public as a consequence. Now, that statement that she released is basically her way of apologizing to the mob over the use of the accent, in which she explains like, hey, as a non-black person of color, I understand what black people went through in this country. I get it, I understand. But my upbringing, I was brought up in this neighborhood and that neighborhood, and this is why I experienced. And this is why I talk this way. I don't mean to hurt anybody. I don't mean to be cultural appropriating anybody. That's basically what it says in a nutshell, okay? She basically says her upbringing and her love for hip-hop and the fact that this slang has become popular on the internet is the reason why she uses it, okay? That's what she says. Now, in my opinion, I don't really have a problem with this. I think the whole cultural appropriation conversation is dumb, right? I think it's silly. I think it's ridiculous. And I really don't see a problem with an actress acting, right? I don't really see a problem with it, okay? I mean, the woman, likes hip-hop. She makes rap music, okay? It's not good, but she makes rap music, okay? And this is something that Asians do, right? There's a certain segment of Asians, specifically Koreans, which she is, that like hip-hop. They like rap, okay? They like that culture. So this is not really a surprise to me, and I don't really see that much of an issue with it, okay? But the mob, of course, they see an issue with it, and they especially don't like the fact that she was nominated for an NAACP Image Award, and they don't like the fact that she didn't really actually apologize. She kind of apologized, but didn't really formally say, I'm sorry, or I apologize. And, of course, that is led to more backlash because obviously that's not enough for the mob. Take a look.
Now, why did Awkwafina post that non-apology during Black History Month? Oh, it's because she got nominated for an NAACP award. What also makes sense why she decided to up and leave Twitter, because she knew that she would get in trouble and get flamed for accepting an NAACP award. And like clockwork, y'all accept this apology, non-black people, thinking that this is about you and for you, when in fact it is not. This woman has played y'all for a sap, saying that she's a product of her environment growing up in New York, when she grew up in Stony Brook, New York, the nice part of the area, the suburbs, so she just did nothing but minstrelsy. And yes, I know for a fact that a lot of y'all non-black people are going to try to discourage me and many other black people from speaking about this issue, because y'all are going to sit up here and say, well, at least she apologized, at least she acknowledged it, she didn't have to say anything, she's being the bigger person, but she had years to address this. But the only reason she's doing this is because she has a Disney bag, and the new movie that she's coming out with is Little Mermaid, and a press conference is going to happen. It's going to be a hot topic. That's why. Yeah,
so even when you apologize or issue a explanation or a statement, it's not enough for the mob, right? It's not enough. It's never enough, and this is why you shouldn't do it, right? This is why you shouldn't waste your time trying to explain yourself to them, because there's no need to. So let's read a little bit more here. Though the NAACP Image Awards is not exclusive to only black people in Hollywood, the nomination upset many as they believe Awkwafina's career was built upon mocking black people. However, her voiceover performance in the Disney animated film Raya and the Last Dragon, which got her the nomination, is one of the few films where she didn't use the Blaccent, per Yahoo News. So they basically talk about here the Reuters explanation that I showed you guys earlier, in which in the past she basically tried to explain why she uses this accent. Yeah, it's not enough, right? According to the wokes. Quote, that's a long way of saying it's complicated. Maybe she hoped the whole thing will boil over after a few weeks. However, Black Twitter wasted no time to snatch her up. Out of all the awards, I think the NAACP Image Awards would be the last one to nominate someone like Awkwafina, who thinks it's okay to make a minstrel out of black people for a living. Yikes, read one tweet. Users also referenced a 2017 Vice interview where she spoke strongly against Hollywood stereotype of Asian characters. I've walked out of auditions where the casting director all of a sudden changed her mind and asked for accents. I refuse to do accents, she said via Vice. Awkwafina went to Twitter to finally respond to everyone's remarks. So she did do an interview with Vice in which she basically said that she doesn't necessarily like, playing, Asian stereotypes and doing accents, okay? So in my opinion, that would be probably my only criticism of this woman, okay, is the fact that in the past she was like, hey, I don't really like doing this, when it comes to Asian folks, but yet, she is, using accents and whatnot for what some people deem to be black, right? Black accents, okay? So, again, there's a little bit of hypocrisy there, but the overall cultural appropriation conversation, I still maintain is dumb, and I still don't think she should have necessarily apologize again for being an actress, okay? Because not every role that she plays, she's doing that, okay? The roles that she plays when she's doing that, that's just what she's doing. She's playing her role, okay? It is what it is. Now, again, Awkwafina basically left Twitter after addressing these accusations of appropriating black culture, in which she basically says that she's available on other social media platforms that don't tell you to kill herself, right? So she basically felt like she was forced off of Twitter because of the mob, okay? So my overall thoughts on this, I just think that this is one of those situations that's just extremely dumb. And one of the reasons why is because these same people that are coming after this Asian woman who likes hip-hop, playing roles in which she uses a hip-hop accent, they're the same people that are totally fine with people like AOC, who is not black, using accents like this.
Tender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy. There is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat. There is nothing wrong with driving the buses that take your family to work. There is nothing wrong with being a working person in the United States of America. And there is everything dignified about it.
Yeah, so that's AOC struggling to use what it's probably, I don't know, maybe it's a Southern accent, right? Maybe it's, I don't know, her trying to talk black or whatever, speak about it. I have no clue what AOC is trying to do there, right? But it is obvious that she's not using her normal accent, okay? So again, is that not cultural appropriation? Why is AOC not criticized for that, but this actor is criticized for basically doing the same thing? And this person is an actress, right? Their job is to act, okay? That's their job, right? But again, this whole cultural appropriation conversation is so dumb to me, okay? Because again, these same people that complain about this stuff, they probably cultural appropriate themselves, right? They wear fake hair that's from Asia, right? India, specifically. They get Chinese symbols and letters tattooed on their bodies. They eat Chinese food. They use chopsticks, okay? They, study martial arts, take karate, taekwondo, all those things that are traditionally Asian things. Black people participate in. I mean, even when it comes to Hollywood, we've seen black people profit off Asian culture and Asian stereotypes. I mean, that's the whole premise of Rush Hour, right? Didn't Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, who's black, play the Karate Kid? Okay, how is that not cultural appropriation? Again, nobody ever complains about that. And again, that's one of the reasons why, again, I think this cultural appropriation conversation is dumb, because I'm one of these people that I simply like learning about other groups of people. And I like participating in their cultural activities. I just do. I think it's interesting and fascinating to learn about how other people live, what they eat, their customs, their traditions. I like learning about that stuff, okay? And I would never want to be accused of cultural appropriation just because I like to indulge in other people's cultural practices, right? I think that if more people did that and more people were more open-minded to other people's cultures, right, and their ways of life, I think people would have a better understanding of each other. But when you block off people from learning more about what you deem to be your culture, okay, which you can have a whole conversation about that, because hip-hop culture, right, in my opinion, I don't think that's necessarily just a black thing. Now, black people obviously have a very, very, very significant influence on hip-hop culture, but I think hip-hop culture has transcended just black folks, right? And that doesn't just apply to, black people or hip-hop culture. I think culture transcends race and skin color in general, right? Culture is bigger than that, okay? But I guess my point is that when you are trying to block off people from participating in your cultural practices or whatever, that is how people remain ignorant. That's how people don't have an understanding of you, your way of life, and they start to develop ideas that might not necessarily be correct about a certain group of people. Okay. Isn't that what black folks complain about all the time? Right? Not being understood. Okay. Being negatively stereotyped. But yet when somebody is appreciating hip hop culture, right? They have a problem with it. When somebody, wears braids or does something that they deem to be uniquely black, the mob wants to get upset about it, right? They want to get upset about it. Instead of just embracing it and letting people learn more about so-called black culture, right? Or hip hop culture, whatever you want to call it, let people learn about it. Let people indulge in it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's how influence happens, okay? It's really that simple. So with that being said, I don't think that she should apologize. I don't think she should have quit Twitter, but hey, I don't blame her for quitting social media and Twitter. I think she should have just stood her ground and be like, hey, you know what? I'm an actress. I like hip hop culture. And at the end of the day, y'all can kick rocks, right? That's what I think that she should have said. But hey, this is how the woke mob operates, right? They will keep going and going and going until they finally get what they want, which is for you to be canceled, which is for you not to have a voice, which is for you to be silenced. That's 2022, man. That's 2022. So, hey, it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.